Hi, my name's Terry from Corghi, Canada. In this video, we'll do a brief reminder, if you will, brief summary of the operation of the Artiglio Master J. I'd like to remind you that once you've switched on your machine, your electronic display panel here will say ATT. You need to press the plus, minus, or either the plus or minus sign, and in doing so, the table will go to its furthest most limit being the 26 inch. Now the machine's ready to work. Alright, let me remind you that we have a built-in wheel lift. I'll use it in this case, but very important that this spring-loaded pin on the hub be engaged into one of the bolt holes. So, I'll use my wheel lift. The wheel. Engage the spring-loaded pin into any one of the bolt holes. The locking shaft does nothing more than hold the wheel down. The rotational torque or force being applied to the wheel happens with the spring-loaded pin. Please be reminded that there are a total of 5 different diameter cones included with the machine. The first 2 being plastic, third steel with a plastic protector cover, larger steel one for the light trucks, and a large diameter one for 3/4 and 1 ton pickups, as well as the light truck adapter. Purpose of the light truck adapter being to step a dually wheel up higher off the hub. So it's important to always select the correct cone depending on the opening in the wheel. In this case, we've got a good fit. Snap that into place. Lock the wheel down. Give it a slight wiggle as you're tightening, and we're good. Put your other cones away. Now, being an 18-inch wheel, I will use the minus sign and select 18-inch diameter. You'll notice it's the wheel that's moving to and from the tooling. So, what are the main functions? You notice this top bead breaker assembly is locked into place, spring-loaded. When not in use, it stays out of the way. So, this lever here for the vertical travel of my top bead breaker. This one right here, vertical travel of the bottom bead breaker. There's a black button right here. When I press this black button, you'll notice the angle of these discs change. The benefit is that when you're breaking the bead and you press that button, you're getting behind the lip of the wheel as opposed to simply pressing the sidewall. As you come up, the exhaust come back into position. So again, you would come down, kick it out when breaking the bead. When you're done, they retract. You'll notice that both the top and bottom discs pivot at the same time. We recommend you only break one bead at a time. Though the machine could probably break both at once, we don't recommend it. It creates too much stress on the assembly, the tire, and overall machine. Now, we've discussed these 3 little features. Little note, this chrome guard here is designed to prevent you from accidentally changing the wheel diameter during operation. Please don't use it as a handle or a resting point for your hand. You may inadvertently hit the buttons. Spoken about this, spoken about this. These features here. We've got the main control stick. Gives you vertical movement of the mounting head. When I go left or right, you've got the inward and outbound travel of the tooling head. You'll notice the very positive locking sound. Boom. That's what you want to hear. That's the locking position. With this machine, it's not the head that moves based on the wheel diameter. If I were to mess around with the buttons here, you'll notice it's the wheel that gets closer or further to the tooling. So again, 18 inch, input 18 here. My tooling is automatically at the right spot. Same with the bead breaking discs, top and bottom. They don't move from here. Depending on wheel diameter, it's the wheel that gets further or closer to them. If I may bring something to your attention, again, based on wheel diameter, the angle of approach of these discs changes. So that essentially, the line is always pointing towards the center of the wheel. Now, so we talked about up, down with the main joystick, in, out with the main joystick. We've also got this button here. When I press this button here, I must keep my finger on it. What's it doing? You may have noticed that this touchless tire bar protrudes inward. What's essentially happening when you do that, it's simulating an operator with a conventional tire bar coming in on an angle to get the bar into the tire. You press it, come down into the tire, release it. This rotary valve here, again, when using it, you have to stay on it. What's it doing? It's retracting the tire bar inward, or the touchless tire bar inward. You also notice that the wheel crept up underneath. What's happening when I turn and hold that key? Simulating an operator with a conventional bar, cranking the bar over the wheel. We use this mobile one, again, press for out, turn the key to remove the tire, only during removal of the first bead. All other operations will be done with this fixed portion of the head. In order to position this correctly, depending on the stage you're at, bring the head in, fully pull up on this plunger. Down, up. When pulled up, you notice the fixed portion is here now. All right? So let's go through the operation of the machine. Set to 18. Check the distance between your wheel and bead breaking disc. Though it's an 18 and my screen says 18, I consider this slightly close. So I also have a little plus sign and a little minus sign here. I may want to increase that to 18.1 just to ensure, or 18.2, that I'm a nice safe distance away from the wheel. Never make those adjustments while pressing the tire. You will stress the electronic motors. So release tension, make your micro adjustments. Here we are ready to break the top bead. So I've got my rotation pedal. When pressed gently, it's low speed. When pressed all the way down, I have high. So I will start high speed, come down, touch the rubber, come down about a quarter inch more, and depress your black button. And now begin lubricating. Very important to lube the sidewall and disc during the bead breaking process. Good, I'm done. We'll do the same on the bottom now. Don't fear, that disc is at the right place based on this wheel diameter I've entered. So I begin rotating, I come up with my disc. When my disc begins rotating, I'm touching rubber. Come up a quarter inch more, and press the block button to kick the disc out. Behind the lip of the wheel, and lube the bottom or inner sidewall. Break the bead in a controlled manner, always. We're done. At this point, we need the tooling in the working position, and I have to insert this finger to go get that tire. So while I bring the head down, and I depress and keep my finger on this button. I slowly rotate, and in a controlled manner, slowly press downward until I get that bead. And boom. I know I have it now. I can let go of the button. Assuming you had a sensor in this wheel, I would bring the sensor in line with the head. Now, using my main joystick, up or down, hold the tire up. You'll see a red line on this mobile finger. Bring it up to the same level as the wheel. Why? Because at this point I will be turning this key, keeping it turned. In doing so, the finger gets drawn in, but the wheel gets pulled in underneath the head as well. You have to make sure you're in line with that. The red line be in line with the wheel so it can go under the head. At this point, I've got no contact with the wheel, and I can begin my rotation. I'm ready for the next beat. Let go of that rotary switch. At this point, we'll use the fixed portion under the tire. I hold the tire up into the drop center, come up with the tool head till the tire is about parallel with the ground, and then push the tire onto the finger. Whoops. Okay. And come up with the bottom disc. So what I'm doing now is I've got the fixed portion of the finger guiding the tire off, and I've also brought the bottom bead breaker disc to push the tire off as well. Begin the rotation, and the tire is off. So again, assuming there was a sensor in there, my sensor would have been in line with the head. At this point, I will put my sensor at what I call the 7 o'clock position. Always call the head 12. So I remove the first bead with the sensor at 12, remove the second bead with the sensor at 12. The first bead will go on with the sensor at 7. So you'll notice the fixed portion of my tool head is still there. There's a little line on it, on this one as well. Line it up with the top of the wheel. Bring your tire on, screw it on as far as you can go. You'll notice my sensor here at 7 is safe. And I begin a slow controlled rotation. Done. Remember that fixed portion that was pointing up? Well, now I need it to point down. Pull the plunger. Back into the working position. Sensor is here. Place it at the 5 o'clock position. So what did I say? 12, 12, 7, 5 are the guidelines I like to use. Get the fixed portion in line with the wheel. Roughly, red line lined up with the top of the wheel. Get your bead braking disc, your top bead braking disc, to assist in directing the tire into the drop center. So this disc has to be lined up with the drop center. And I'll bring my bead pressure up. I ran out of travel here. I can pull the pin, and I've got 1, 2 other locations where I can engage this pin to give me more travel depending on the width. Start here. This is what you want to see. With a combination of your mounting head, giving the tire no place or no choice of anywhere to go but around a wheel, the disc directing the tire into the drop center, and my bead presser maintaining the tire into the drop center. This is perfect here. Now, when this bead presser is in line with the center shaft, this bead braking disc in line with the center shaft, in line with the bead presser, A lot of tension created here on the tire. So you can, at this point, generally begin removing tension from the bead breaker and finish the install with nothing more than the bead breaker, pardon me, bead presser and the head. When done, get this out of the way, get this out of the way, prepare for the next tire removal by getting the mobile portion down and air up your tire. Thank you.